The night shift at Earth's Deep Space Monitoring Station was usually quiet. Most operators spent their time watching endless streams of data scroll across their screens, looking for anything unusual among the stars. Tonight was different. John Parker's coffee cup stopped halfway to his mouth as his screen lit up with urgent warnings. His hands trembled slightly as he double-checked the readings. After 15 years of watching empty space, he had finally found something. "Sir," John called out, his voice cutting through the quiet hum of computers. "You need to see this." Dr. James Miller, who had been dozing in his office, rushed to John's station. His eyes widened as he looked at the screen. The data showed multiple massive objects moving through space at incredible speeds, all heading directly toward Earth's solar system. "How many?" Dr. Miller asked, leaning closer to the screen. "At least 50 large ships, sir. And those are just the ones we can detect clearly." John's voice was steady, but his face had gone pale. "They're traveling at 30% of light speed." Dr. Miller straightened up and took a deep breath. "Get me the Global Defense Council. Now." Within an hour, the station's main control room was filled with military officers and government officials. General Roberts, head of Earth's defense forces, stood at the center of the room, his face grim as he watched the main screen. "Show me their course again," he ordered. The huge display lit up with a map of the solar system. A cluster of red dots moved steadily toward Earth, their path clear and deliberate. This was no natural phenomenon. This was a fleet. "They're slowing down," Dr. Miller explained, pointing to the changing numbers. "At their current rate of deceleration, they'll reach our solar system in about 2 weeks." "Have they responded to any of our signals?" asked Amanda Foster, Earth's chief of communications. "No," Dr. Miller replied, shaking his head. "We've tried all standard first contact protocols. Radio waves, light signals, even quantum communications. They're receiving our messages. We can tell that much. But they're choosing not to answer." The room fell silent. Humanity had prepared for this moment for over a century, but now that it was here, the weight of it felt overwhelming. General Roberts turned to face the group. "Initiate Protocol Omega," he commanded. "But keep it quiet. We don't want to cause panic." Around the world, hidden military bases began to wake up. Deep underground, massive machines hummed to life. In secret orbital facilities, soldiers and pilots prepared for battle. Everything humanity had built in secret was about to be tested. Back at the monitoring station, Dr. Miller watched the alien fleet's approach with growing concern. The ships were massive, each one bigger than anything humanity had ever built, or at least anything they had publicly admitted to building. "Sir," John called out again, his voice tense, "I'm detecting energy readings from the fleet. They're like nothing we've ever seen before." Dr. Miller nodded slowly. "That's what they think," he muttered under his breath. The next few days passed in a blur of activity. The world's governments managed to keep the news from spreading to the public, but preparations continued in secret. Military forces moved quietly into position. Underground bunkers were checked and supplied. Earth's hidden defenses were readied. In his private office, Dr. Miller looked at a small photo on his desk. It showed him as a young scientist, standing next to the first prototype of Earth's quantum shield generator. That had been 30 years ago. Now similar devices lay hidden across the planet, waiting to be activated. His computer beeped with a new message. The alien fleet had crossed Neptune's orbit. First contact was inevitable now. "Let them come," he whispered, touching the old photo. "We've been ready for generations." Above Earth, hidden in plain sight, thousands of defensive satellites silently tracked the approaching fleet. Humanity had learned long ago that the galaxy was a dangerous place. They had spent centuries preparing for this moment, building in secret, waiting patiently. The aliens were about to learn a hard lesson. Never mistake humanity's peaceful appearance for weakness. The alien fleet entered the solar system like a wave of black metal, their ships gleaming under the distant sunlight. Admiral Thomas Reeves stood on the bridge of the Earth's diplomatic vessel, the Peace Seeker, watching as the massive alien ships approached. His ship was small in comparison, deliberately so. "They're hailing us," reported Mike Taylor, the communications officer. His fingers moved quickly across the control panel as he worked to decode the incoming signal. The main screen flickered to life, revealing a tall figure with gray metallic skin and eyes that glowed like dying stars. The alien's voice boomed through the speakers, translated instantly by Earth's advanced computers. "We are the Dominion," the alien announced. "I am High Commander Val. Your species will now submit to our rule. Resistance is unnecessary and will only lead to your destruction." Admiral Reed kept his face carefully neutral. He had practiced this moment hundreds of times in simulations. "Welcome to Earth's solar system," he said calmly. "We are willing to discuss peaceful relations, but we do not accept demands of submission." The alien commander's laugh echoed through the bridge. "You misunderstand, human. This is not a negotiation." The camera view widened, showing the vast command center of the alien flagship. "We have conquered 47 civilizations. Many were more advanced than yours. All now serve the Dominion." "Perhaps," Reed replied. "You should study Earth's history more carefully. We are not as primitive as we may appear." High Commander Val's expression shifted to one of amusement. "We have studied your transmissions. Your most advanced ships can barely reach your own moon. Your weapons are crude. Your technology is centuries behind ours." Behind Reed, the bridge crew maintained their professional calm. They knew better. Earth's apparent technological level was carefully crafted fiction, broadcast specifically for any watching eyes. "This is your final opportunity," Val continued. "Submit now, and your transition into the Dominion will be peaceful. Resist, and we will reduce your cities to ash." Admiral Reed straightened his uniform and spoke clearly. "Earth has only one response to your demand." He paused, making sure he had the alien commander's full attention. "Leave our solar system now, or face the consequences. This is not a threat. It is a warning." The alien commander's amusement turned to anger. "You dare to threaten the Dominion? Our smallest ship could destroy your entire fleet." "You have 24 hours to depart," Reed replied, his voice still calm. "After that, we will consider your presence an act of war." 24 hours. Val laughed again, but this time there was an edge of cruelty in it. "I will give you 24 hours to surrender. When time expires, we will demonstrate our power. Look upon our fleet, human. This is but a fraction of the Dominion's might." The transmission ended abruptly. Admiral Reed turned to his crew. "Send the signal," he ordered. "It's time to wake everything up." Around the solar system, hidden stations began powering up. In the clouds of Venus, cloaked weapon platforms stirred to life. Within the rings of Saturn, automated shipyards began launching vessels that had been built in secret over decades. From beneath the surface of Mars, defensive installations emerged from their hiding places. Back on Earth, Dr. Miller watched as green lights appeared on his global defense grid display. Each light represented a quantum shield generator coming online. Centuries of preparation were about to be tested. In his command center deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, Commander Wilson activated the AI battle networks. Thousands of satellites, hidden in plain sight as communications relays and weather monitors, revealed their true nature. The alien fleet held position just beyond Mars' orbit, their sensors recording Earth's apparent helplessness. They detected no shield grid, no weapon platforms, no defense fleet. Their scans showed exactly what humanity had wanted them to see for the past 100 years, a young, barely space-capable civilization. High Commander Val looked down at the blue planet on his view screen. "Such a primitive world," he said to his officers. "They don't even have basic planetary shields." In 24 hours, he would learn just how wrong he was. The trap was set, and the Dominion had walked right into it. 23 hours had passed since first contact. High Commander Val stood on his flagship's command deck, watching Earth through the main viewing screen. The small blue planet looked peaceful, defenseless. Behind him, his officers prepared for what they believed would be an easy conquest. "Display our previous conquests," Val ordered. The screen filled with images of worlds that had fallen to the Dominion. Some were burning. Others were covered in the gray metal of Dominion cities. All had surrendered in the end. "Send the message," he commanded. "Let them see what awaits them." On Earth, screens in every major city suddenly came to life. The emergency broadcast system activated automatically as the Dominion's signal overrode all communications. High Commander Val's face appeared everywhere, on phones, televisions, and public displays. "People of Earth," his voice boomed, "your time has run out. We have conquered 47 worlds before yours. Some fought. Some surrendered. All were stronger than you." The images of conquered worlds flashed behind him. "This is your last chance. Surrender now, or in 1 hour, we will destroy your largest city as a demonstration of our power." In the underground command center, General Roberts watched the broadcast with Dr. Miller and Admiral Reed. None of them looked worried. "They're so confident," Miller said, checking the status of Earth's hidden defenses. All systems showed green. "They haven't even tried to scan beyond our fake sensor network." "Pride comes before the fall," Admiral Reed replied. He turned to General Roberts. "Should we show them a small demonstration? Maybe they'll reconsider." The general shook his head. "No. Let them come. Let them commit fully to their attack. We need to make sure none of them escape to warn others." On the Dominion flagship, Val received Earth's response. It was a simple text message. "We warned you." He laughed, the sound echoing through his command center. "Brave words from primitives," he said to his officers. "Prepare the main gun. Target their city called New York. Let's show them what happens to worlds that defy the Dominion." The flagship's massive weapon began charging. Energy readings spiked as power flowed into the main cannon. The other ships in the fleet moved into attack formation, ready to begin the invasion once Earth's resistance was broken. "Sir," one of Val's officers called out, "I'm detecting some strange energy readings from the planet." "Impossible." Val dismissed the concern. "Our scans showed no advanced technology. They barely have spaceflight." In New York City, people watched the massive alien ships through their phones and cameras. But instead of panic, there was an eerie calm. Years of classified briefings and secret preparations had readied humanity for this moment. Underground, Dr. Miller activated the quantum shield network. Across the planet, hidden generators hummed to life. The shield would remain invisible until the moment of impact. "They're powering up their main weapon," Commander Wilson reported from his station. "Energy readings are massive." "Let them fire first," General Roberts ordered. "Let them commit fully to the attack." High Commander Val raised his hand dramatically. "Let Earth learn the price of defiance. Fire." The flagship's main gun released a beam of energy so powerful it lit up space like a new sun. The blast streaked toward New York City, designed to level everything in a 100-mile radius. But 3 seconds before impact, the sky above Earth shimmered. The quantum shield grid, invisible until now, revealed itself. The Dominion's energy beams struck the shield and scattered harmlessly into space. Val's confident expression faltered. "What? What is this?" "Sir," his officers shouted in panic, "we're detecting thousands of defense satellites. They were cloaked somehow. Energy readings are off the charts. Around Earth, humanity's hidden defenses decloaked. Thousands of satellites, weapon platforms, and defense stations appeared as if by magic. The trap was sprung." In the underground command center, General Roberts stood up. "Send our response," he ordered. Across every Dominion ship, screens came to life with a new message. "We warned you to leave. You chose not to listen. Now you will learn why Earth has survived every threat the galaxy has sent against us. We are not primitive. We are not weak. We are humanity, and you have made a terrible mistake. The battle for Earth was about to begin. Professor Mary Cooper stood in Earth's primary defense control room, her fingers dancing across the holographic controls. Around her, dozens of operators activated systems that had remained hidden for over a century. The room hummed with power as humanity's true military might awakened. All quantum defense systems are online, she announced, her voice steady despite the tension. Shield strength at maximum. They won't break through. On the main screen, the Dominion fleet hung in space, still recovering from the shock of their failed attack. Their sensors were now detecting Earth's true capabilities, and panic was spreading through their ranks. "Show me the satellite network," Commander Wilson ordered from his station. The display shifted, revealing thousands of points of light surrounding Earth. Each light represented a weapons platform that had been disguised as ordinary satellites. Some had been hiding in plain sight for decades, masked as weather satellites or communication relays. High Commander Val's voice crackled through the command center speakers. "What trickery is this? You're supposed to be primitives." "No trickery," Admiral Reed replied calmly. "Just patience. We've been watching the stars for centuries, preparing for threats like you. Did you really think humanity would survive this long by being defenseless?" Professor Cooper activated the quantum targeting system. Red dots appeared on the display, marking every weak point in the Dominion ship's armor. Their supposedly advanced shields were useless against Earth's quantum-based weapons. "Their shield frequency is locked in," she reported. "They can't adapt to our weapons." They never saw them coming. Commander Wilson nodded, launched the first wave of defenders. The surface of the moon rippled as hidden hangar doors opened. Hundreds of Earth's advanced fighters emerged, their sleek black hulls absorbing all light. They had been waiting there, concealed by technology the Dominion couldn't even comprehend. On his flagship, High Commander Val watched in horror as his sensors revealed more of Earth's defenses. Hidden bases on Mars activated, releasing more fighters. The rings of Saturn shifted as massive weapon platforms emerged from their hiding places. "Impossible," he shouted. "Their technology. It's beyond anything we've seen. How did we not detect this?" In the Earth Command Center, Dr. Miller smiled. "Because we wanted you to underestimate us. Humanity learned long ago that appearing weak while being strong is the best defense." Professor Cooper's quantum scanners revealed the Dominion fleet's internal communications. Their crews were panicking, their commanders arguing about what to do. Some ships were already turning to flee. "They're breaking formation," she reported. "Their command structure is falling apart." Admiral Reeves straightened his uniform. "Show them phase one of our capabilities, just enough to make them understand their situation." Professor Cooper nodded and activated a single defense platform. A beam of pure quantum energy lanced out, passing straight through the shields of a Dominion cruiser. The massive ship split cleanly in two, its power systems dying instantly. The Dominion fleet erupted in chaos. Ships began firing randomly, their weapons splashing harmlessly against Earth's quantum shields. Some vessels tried to jump to faster than light speed, only to find themselves trapped by gravity anchors hidden in the asteroid belt. "Sir," Commander Wilson reported, "they're sending out distress calls to their empire. Should we block them?" "No," General Roberts replied. "Let them call for help. Let the galaxy see what happens when you threaten Earth." Professor Cooper's screen showed more Dominion ships attempting to flee. Their mighty fleet, terror of 47 conquered worlds, was falling apart in the face of humanity's true power. "Send the final warning," General Roberts ordered. Every screen in the Dominion fleet lit up with a simple message. This was only a demonstration. You have one last chance to surrender. After that, we will show you our real weapons. In the command center, humanity's defenders watched as the Dominion fleet faced a terrible realization. They weren't the hunters they thought they were. They were prey that had wandered into humanity's carefully laid trap. The real battle was about to begin, and Earth was ready to show the galaxy why its warnings should never be ignored. High Commander Val's pride finally broke. All ships, attack. He screamed through the fleet's communication network. Destroy everything. Show these humans the true power of the Dominion. The alien fleet launched their full assault. Thousands of energy beams and plasma torpedoes streaked toward Earth, lighting up space like a false dawn. To the Dominion, it looked like enough firepower to crack a planet. Professor Cooper watched calmly from her station as the attacks approached. "Quantum shields holding steady," she reported. "Energy absorption at 30% capacity." Not only were Earth's shields blocking the attacks, but they were also capturing the enemy's weapon energy. Each blast made Earth's defenses stronger. "Their attack pattern is predictable," Commander Wilson noted, watching the tactical display. "Just like their previous 47 conquests. They never learned to adapt." Admiral Reed nodded. "Time to show them how humanity fights. Launch the counterattack." Earth's response was beautiful and terrible to witness. The quantum defense grid lit up like a spider's web of light. Every captured energy blast was redirected, transformed, and sent back at the Dominion fleet with perfect accuracy. "Target their engines first," General Roberts ordered. "Don't let them escape." The first wave of redirected energy sliced through the Dominion's shields like they weren't even there. 20 ships lost power instantly, their engines destroyed by weapons they couldn't understand. "Impossible," Val shouted as his flagship shuddered. "Our shields are the strongest in the galaxy. Nothing can penetrate them." But humanity's weapons weren't trying to penetrate the shields. They were phase-shifting straight through them, ignoring them completely. Professor Cooper's quantum targeting system painted more weak points across the enemy fleet. Phase-shift weapons locked on. "Permission to launch second wave." "Granted," General Roberts replied. "Show them what Earth can really do." From hidden bases on Mars, massive railguns launched special quantum torpedoes. These weapons, developed in secret over decades, didn't travel through space. They shifted through quantum space, reappearing inside the Dominion ships. The results were devastating. Explosions bloomed silently in space as ship after ship was destroyed from the inside out. The Dominion's mighty armada began to break apart. Enemy fleet at 60% strength and falling, Commander Wilson reported. "They're trying to regroup around their flagship." High Commander Val watched in horror as his fleet was torn apart. His sensors couldn't even track the weapons hitting his ships. Earth's technology was beyond anything the Dominion had ever encountered. "Launch all fighters," he ordered desperately. "Overwhelm them with numbers." Thousands of Dominion fighter craft poured out of the surviving ships. They swarmed toward Earth like angry insects, their weapons blazing. Professor Cooper smiled. Activating point defense grid. The seemingly empty space around Earth suddenly sparkled. Thousands of automated defense drones decloaked, each one armed with quantum weapons. The Dominion fighters flew straight into a web of death. "Enemy fighters engaging," Commander Wilson announced. "Casualty rate, 98%. Our drones are targeting their weak points automatically." The space around Earth lit up with explosions as Dominion fighters died by the hundreds. Not one got close enough to threaten the planet's shields. On his flagship's bridge, High Commander Val watched his mighty fleet crumble. This is impossible. We are the Dominion. We have conquered 47 worlds." "And that was your mistake." Admiral Reed's voice came through clearly on all channels. "You thought quantity meant quality. You never evolved, never adapted. But humanity, we've been preparing for this day for centuries." The quantum defense grid pulsed one final time. Another wave of phase-shift torpedoes appeared inside the remaining Dominion ships. More explosions lit up space. "Enemy fleet at 20% strength and falling," Commander Wilson reported. "They're beginning to surrender." Escape pods launched from dying ships as Dominion crews abandoned their posts. The mighty invasion fleet, pride of an empire, was being systematically destroyed by a civilization they had dismissed as primitive. The battle wasn't over, But its outcome was already clear. Humanity had just shown the galaxy why Earth's warnings should be taken seriously. And they were just getting started. High Commander Val's fingers dug into his command chair as his flagship shook from another direct hit. Around him, his bridge crew worked in panic as more alarms blared. "Status report," he demanded. "We've lost contact with 60% of the remaining fleet," his officer replied, voice trembling. "Our weapons have no effect on their shields. Our own shields are useless against their attacks. We can't win this." Val's pride finally shattered completely. The mighty Dominion fleet, which had conquered 47 worlds, was being torn apart by a civilization they had dismissed as primitive. In his rage and desperation, he made one final fatal decision. "All remaining ships," he broadcast, "concentrate all firepower on their planet. If we die, we take them with us." In Earth's command center, Professor Cooper watched the enemy's power readings spike. "They're diverting all power to weapons," she reported, "even taking energy from their life support systems." Commander Wilson's tactical display showed the remaining Dominion ships forming a new pattern. "They're going to try a synchronized blast, all ships firing at once." General Roberts remained calm. "Professor Cooper, is the quantum entanglement bomb ready?" "Yes, sir," she replied, her hand hovering over a new control panel. "But we've never tested it at this scale." "Now's the perfect time," the general said. "Let them fire first." The remaining Dominion ships, about 40 vessels, moved into a tight formation. Their weapons charged to maximum power, drawing energy from every system they had. High Commander Val's voice boomed through all channels. "Die with us, humans." The Dominion fleet fired as one. The combined energy blast was powerful enough to crack a moon, a beam of pure destruction that lit up the solar system like a newborn star. Professor Cooper waited until the blast was halfway to Earth. Quantum entanglement bomb launching now. A single, small projectile shot out from a hidden lunar base. It looked tiny compared to the massive energy beam approaching Earth. The two forces met in space. What happened next stunned even the human observers. The quantum entanglement bomb detonated, creating a field of altered spacetime. The Dominion's massive energy blast didn't just stop, it reversed. Every joule of energy was caught in the quantum field and sent back along its original path, but 1,000 times stronger. "Energy reflection successful," Professor Cooper announced. "Their own attack is returning to them, amplified by our quantum field." The Dominion fleet had no time to react. Their own weapons' energy, multiplied by Earth's technology, washed over them like a tide of fire. Ships began disappearing, not just destroyed but completely disintegrated by their own reflected power. "This is impossible," Val screamed as his flagship's systems overloaded. "We are the Dominion. We cannot be defeated by primitives." Admiral Reed's voice cut through all channels. "You never understood, did you? Earth isn't primitive. We just learned long ago to hide our strength. Your 47 easy victories made you lazy. Made you stupid." The quantum field continued its work. Ship after ship vanished, consumed by their own reflected energy. The few vessels that survived the initial blast found themselves trapped by Earth's gravity manipulators, unable to escape. "Enemy fleet is down to 5 ships," Commander Wilson reported. "All of them critically damaged. The rest have been destroyed." High Commander Val watched through his failing view screen as his mighty fleet vanished into dust. His flagship's systems were failing, hull breaches on multiple decks, weapons completely burned out. We surrender," he finally transmitted, his voice broken. "Please, mercy." In the command center, Earth's defenders shared knowing looks. Their trap had worked perfectly. The Dominion's arrogance had led them exactly where humanity wanted them. General Roberts opened a channel to the surviving ships. "Your surrender is accepted. You will be boarded and detained. Your databases will be copied. The location of every world you've conquered will be found." He paused, then added, "The galaxy will know what happened here today. Let everyone learn. Earth's warnings should never be ignored. The battle was over. The mighty Dominion fleet was destroyed, and humanity was ready to step onto the galactic stage, not as conquerors, but as liberators. 1 week after the battle, Earth's command center hummed with new activity. The screens that once showed enemy ships now displayed maps of the galaxy, with 47 points of light marking the worlds conquered by the Dominion. High Commander Val, now a prisoner, stood before Earth's Defense Council. His once proud posture was gone, replaced by the slumped shoulders of a defeated warrior. The coordinates and access codes for all Dominion territories have been confirmed, Professor Cooper announced, studying the data from the captured ships. Their empire stretched across 3 spiral arms of the galaxy. General Roberts nodded. And how many enslaved species? 84 different species across the 47 worlds, Commander Wilson replied. Some have been under Dominion control for centuries. Val watched in disbelief as the humans calmly discussed dismantling an empire that had taken thousands of years to build. "You'll never succeed," he said. "The Dominion's hold is too strong. Our remaining forces will do nothing," Admiral Reed interrupted. "We've already sent quantum messages to every Dominion world. We included video of your fleet's destruction. Your empire's strength was always based on fear. That fear is gone now." On the main screen, reports were already coming in. Across the galaxy, enslaved worlds were rising up. The news of the Dominion fleet's destruction had sparked hope in populations that had lived in fear for generations. "Launch the Liberation Fleet," General Roberts ordered. Through massive doors hidden in the lunar surface, Earth's true fleet emerged. Hundreds of advanced ships, built in secret over decades, powered up their engines. Each one carried weapons and technology far beyond anything the Dominion had ever seen. "How?" Val asked, watching the fleet with wide eyes. "How did you hide all of this?" Dr. Miller smiled. "We learned long ago that appearing weak while being strong was the best defense. Every time we detected an alien signal, we broadcast fake documentaries about our primitive space program. Every time we saw a scout ship, we made sure they saw exactly what we wanted them to see." "The first Liberation Fleet has jumped successfully," Commander Wilson reported. "They'll reach the nearest enslaved world in 6 hours." Professor Cooper's screen showed more data from the captured Dominion ships. "We've already cracked their entire military network. Every defense system, every security code. The liberation will be quick and clean." Val shook his head slowly. "You could conquer everything. All those worlds could be yours. Why help them?" Admiral Reed walked over to the fallen commander. "Because that's the difference between you and us. You see power as a way to dominate. We see it as a responsibility to protect." The screen showed the first images from the Liberation Fleet. On world after world, Dominion control centers were being shut down by Earth's quantum weapons. Slave collars were being deactivated. Prison camps were being opened. "Message from Liberation Fleet 1. Commander Wilson announced. First 3 worlds secured. No casualties. Local populations are celebrating in the streets." General Roberts turned to the council. "Send the broadcast." Every communication device across the liberated worlds activated. The message was simple but powerful. "To all species formerly under Dominion control, you are now free. Earth stands ready to assist in your recovery. We offer not conquest, but cooperation. Not dominance, but partnership. The galaxy will no longer be ruled by fear." In the following days, Earth's fleet moved swiftly through former Dominion space. World after world was freed. Species that had been enemies under Dominion rule began to work together, rebuilding their civilizations. A month later, the last Dominion stronghold fell. In Earth's command center, the final reports came in. All 47 worlds liberated, Commander Wilson confirmed. The Dominion's 1,000-year empire ended in 30 days. Professor Cooper looked up from her station. "We're receiving messages from 200 other civilizations. They're requesting diplomatic contact with Earth." Admiral Reed smiled. "The galaxy's changing, And this time, for the better. The stars looked different now. Where there had once been an empire of fear, a new network of free worlds was forming. And at its heart stood Earth, not as a conqueror, but as a guardian. The galaxy had learned its lesson. Earth's warnings should never be ignored. But more importantly, it had learned that humanity's greatest strength wasn't its weapons or technology. It was the choice to use power to protect, not to dominate.